Greetings of the day. Welcome back to Parent-Teacher Interaction course. This is for Module 3. But before we get started, let's just quickly recap Module 1 and Module 2. Module 1 basically talked about the base of parent involvement. Why is it necessary? It also talked about rearranging the R and making parent a partner. We also discussed a lot about how the research has shown that greater teaching effectiveness, higher expectations of students, and increased ability to understand family views and cultures comes to a school administration with parent involvement. At the same time, parent obtains greater knowledge of education programs and how schools work, knowledge of how children can be more supportive, knowledge of greater confidence about ways to help children, and more positive view of teachers. So, in a broader perspective, we see parents are also benefited when they are involved with school, and definitely the schools are benefited when the parents are involved. We also talked about different strategies of communications of parent involvement, and parent involvement has been defined as a combination of commitment and active participation on the part of the parent to the school and to the student. We discussed parent participation at different levels. Dr. Joyce of Johns Hopkins University developed a framework that defines 6 different types of parental involvement. Now, this framework assists educators in developing school and family partnership programs. Also, this helps parents get into their child's education process, learning process. So, we discussed strategies like parenting, communicating, volunteering, learning at home, decision making, collaborating with community. Now, let's look into Module 3, Expectation and Delivery. While Module 1 talks to us about the base of why parent engagement is involvement, Module 2 talks to us about various strategies, Module 3 talks about expectations and delivery. Now, what do we want? It is often misjudged or combined together parent involvement and parent engagement, or even parent interaction. But these are 3 different terminologies. So let's understand what is the difference between involvement and engagement of a parent, and what do we want at the end of the day. Now, this is some few examples of parent involvement with schools. That could be reading in class, going on trips, parents' evenings, parent meetings. This could be parental involvement with schools. Some examples of that. Parent involvement with schooling. So let's not confuse school and schooling. Helping with homework, helping with art projects, participating in various science exhibitions, keeping track of coursework, keeping track of asynchronous activities could be parental involvement with schooling. This gives us a clear examples of parent involvement with schools, parent involvement with schooling, and it talks about parent engagement with children's learning. So this could come as moral support, their interest in learning, their interest in academic progress of their child, their interest in guidance. It could work both the ways. They could seek guidance and they could also provide guidance. Now, these are very good pictorial depictions of family engagement. Parent educators work as partners, teamwork to support students' success, and two-way communication, which we also discussed in the last segment, that communication is one of the most important tools in this entire parent-teacher interaction. Now, let's look at something which goes in the background of everybody's mind. What do teachers want? What do parents want? What are the teacher expectations from parents when a child studies or learning or behavior is concerned? What are the expectations of parents from the schools, from the teachers? So, kind of a wish list. Let's look into this. 10 things that teachers wish parents would do. Of course, they would want parents to be involved in their child's education, in their academic progress, in their learning, and basically, in a broader term, accept parental responsibilities. Provide resources at home for reading and learning. Yes, well, it sounds like a very simple terminology, but it is quite in-depth. There are a lot of children who are deprived of these resources. Now, parents do do want to give these platforms, but sometimes are unable to do so. But as a realistic expectation of a teacher, they do expect parents to provide this platform to their children at home so that the bridging of home to school and school to home is completed. Of course, set a good example, and this could work both the ways. Of course, encouraging children to do their best at school. Now, this also requires parents to give the guidance, the motivation that is required for the children to do their best, not only in academics but beyond also. Now, at home, if there is a learning environment, at home, if parents are connected with school or with child's day-to-day academic progress, they can go on one step further and emphasize the importance of academics, in turn ingrain some kind of a respect in the mind of child for the school, for the teachers. Support school rules and goals. Again, I would pause here and reflect back to what we discussed in Module 1 and Module 2. For parents to support school rules and goals, it is coming back to communicating to parents what are the school rules, goals, policies, expectations. So here, though teachers wish this parents would do, but teachers, the onus is also on the school administration and teachers to communicate what are the rules and goals of the school. Use parental pressure positively. Well, there is a lot being said about positive parenting, and here teachers do expect that parental pressure should not be negatively put on the child, because this affects their time at school also. Be proactive. Well, this again goes both the ways, though this was a wish list which I came across during my research. Be proactive is for the teacher also, as well as at parent level also. But the only thing is, when parent is more proactive at home, it just kind of compensates, it kind of blends with the learning at school. Now, there have been instances, and I have been talking to many educators and budding teachers, young teachers, who are often worried when they see their child sleeping in school or not paying attention, and they often wonder what's going on. This kind of a thing leaves a question mark in teacher's mind as to how she can help. And considering this situation, it would considerably help if the parent could inform the school of situation that may impact their child's performance at school. And such meetings, such phone calls, such dialogue, and having such open communication is very important to nurture this child who might be going through some stressful situations at home. Now, let's talk about the 3 things that parents wish for teachers to do. But of course, we will go beyond 3 things and see what parents want teachers to do. And this is their wish list. Keep their children safe, of course, because children are at the center of the universe for all the parents across the world. This is again something which is coming up more so as we progress in new normal and beyond the bullying and the kind of being unfair. So teachers, school need to keep this at the center stage of treating their children fairly, which most of the schools do, but parents have these hidden fears whether their child will be treated fairly at the end of the day. And more so, parents with language barriers, with ethnicity which is different than the most of the population of schools might have more fears than the others. So teachers and school has to take that one step extra to make sure every parents are knowing this fact that the child is treated fairly. Teach the material, of course, and that is a very obvious expectation for the parent. And students need to succeed with the material that the teacher is teaching them. Communicate early about the problems. Now, this is again one thing which I have been advocating in a lot of my talks, which I do at schools, which I do when I am doing teachers workshop, is that communicate the problem early on rather than waiting for it. Because what happens is, the moment you communicate the problem, yes, there is always that anxiety that the parent might react adversely, but at the end of the day, you are gaining parents' confidence. At the same time, when teacher is coming across a problem, he or she needs to inform the school management and make sure everybody is on the same page and there is transparency. And when parents start seeing that the problems are communicated early on, their trust in the school increases, their trust in the teacher increases. Parents do expect the teachers to act in a professional manner because children are spending most of their daytime with the teachers. Of course, this goes without saying. Any teacher has to come to the class and be enthusiastic, energetic, and positive, as she will have the trickle down effect on their children and set the tone for the day for the entire class. Respect the rights and efforts of parents and guardians. Again, I go back to the same point where the school has to take that extra step to make sure inclusion of all the parents, irrespective of their language preferences, their ethnicity, their culture backgrounds, or they come from different countries. Understand that the parents definitely want their children to experience the entire school experience, whether it could be academics, sports, music, drama, art. And parents would want feedback of respective teachers or school on its own, how their children are doing, what is the child's interest, and how it can be enhanced further. Have high expectations for self and students. This is one of the expectations from the parents. Now, sometimes the asynchronous activities or homeworks in some parts of the world goes to an extent where it comes as a pressure not only to the child but to parents. Here, a lot of parents have signified that they would probably want reasonable and worthy assignment tied to curriculum. Another thing that teacher can do is, while giving an assignment which requires parent involvement, she could explain what is the reason, why is this assignment so important for the learning outcome of the child. Feedbacks on assignment and task are something which teachers, of course, needs to provide for parents to know where academically their child is, and this could also be in other areas beyond academics. And of course, make a school a pleasant experience, because this in turn makes easier for the parents to send their children to school, keep them motivated, keep them energetic, happy about the school environment. Now, this is a very good assignment as we come close to the end of Module 3 to ponder and write your thoughts, to write your experience and take it as an assignment of what is your school doing, about have your parents ever come and talk to you what worked best for their child. Pause here. This question has a couple of other questions inside woven it. Have your parents come and spoken to you about what worked best for the child? If the answer is no, have you, as a school, as a teacher, as an educator, provided a platform for the parent to come and speak to you about what worked best for their child? School has to take an initiative, or education institute has to take an initiative to open that platform, to open that dialogue where the parent can come and say, well, you know what, this really worked at home. Can you try this? Or this worked at school. Can you tell me more about this? So this is something that you need to go back and think and write your thoughts and see how could you make this platform available. Now, if they have given you some suggestions of what works best for their child or what they would want differently in the school, have you incorporated their suggestions? Again, it goes back. Have you created a platform for parents to come and communicate these suggestions to you in the sense as a teacher, as an educator, as a student, or as a school? Do your parents lead other parents in your school? With growing competition, with schools budding across the street, have our parents spread our good name of the school, of the teachers, to another parents? Have they come to your school saying, hey, you know what, we really heard great things about your class, about your teacher, about your school, about your teaching methodologies, etc. Do your parents feel comfortable participating in school activities for all programs? Again, we talk about inclusion here. Have you been able to include all of the parents? Have you provided the platforms? So I would take a minute's pause here for you to note down these questions, reflect on them, write an assignment, do submit it to us. So, have your parents told you what worked best for their child? Reflect on this. Reflect whether you have given them the platform. Have you incorporated their suggestion? Do your parents lead other parents to your school? Do your parents feel comfortable participating in school activities for all programs? I look forward to receiving this assignment from you. The email ID is simran.balani@ccefinland.org. We will be keeping it as an end note when we finish this course in Module 5, so then you can write back to me. What is your school doing to increase partnering with parents? In the next few modules, we will be discussing real-time strategies, innovative strategies, and fun strategies that a school is doing, can be doing, and what will work in the new normal. But this is a good time to reflect. What is your school doing? What you as a teacher are doing to increase partnering with parents? Thank you very much. I will see you in Module 4, which will talk about management and nurturing relationships.